The day is finally here. F2 2019 is now a fully fledged part of the F1 2019 experience. Codemasters said a few months ago that they were planning to get the F2 cars for 2019 out in September. And lo and behold, with only a couple of days left in September, we now finally have the big 1.12 update, which contains these cars. So we're going to have a little bit of a play around in Mick Schumacher's Prix 2019 F2 car around the Russian Grand Prix, and we're going to have some fun. I'm thinking about doing a career mode focused solely around the F2 cars. I've been waiting for the 2019 update to come out. It's finally here. So if you guys want to see a career mode based solely on F2 and a particular driver, I don't know which one, smash a like button and we'll do it.
Welcome back to F2. It's qualifying and everyone here has their eye on the 4 points for pole position tomorrow.
So here we are for a full weekend of the Russian Grand Prix. We're going to run through qualifying, which is only one shot, but we are doing a feature race and we're also going to do a sprint race as well. This will be a good basis to see if the AI are too difficult for me still on the F2 cars. I find it's actually a whole completely different driving experience, and for me, I've always felt that the AI are tougher to beat in F2 at the same difficulty level, say, than in an F1 car. I think it's mainly just due to me and my lack of experience in these cars. You really have to, I think, be a bit more aggressive with these cars. You have to be quite smooth and progressive with the F1 cars. There's so much horsepower, so much downforce. With these things, there isn't a whole lot of anything, so you've really got to muscle the car around the circuit, and that's a driving style which I'm not really used to driving. I haven't been pushing the limits in that kind of way in a couple of years. But yeah, we did the one-shot qualifying. We got P13, which is okay. I think I might leave the difficulty level where it is as we head into the race, because I feel like I'll only get more and more used to these cars.
And here in Russia, today's race is about to start. We're at the Sochi Autodrome and the drivers on the grid are almost ready to begin. Join us as we enjoy today's Formula 2 event. I'm not the only one sitting here today who's looking forward to today's race. My friend and ex-GP2 champion Davide Valsecchi next to me is already on the edge of his seat awaiting the start of the event. How's it going today?
Hello there, Alex. I'm great, thank you, and very excited to get started. I have a feeling we are in for a very special event today.
Keep your eyes open on the run to turn 1 and keep it clean. We want to come out in one piece. Good luck.
Hello, Jeff. Nice to see you in F2. Not really the career change that you were probably anticipating. He's now being downgraded to F2 engineering status. But anyway, here we are for the Russian Grand Prix. Feature race. It's a 50% race, so 14 laps. We will be making a pit stop. We are starting on the ultra soft tires and then going to the mediums. No, super soft. They're purple. I got confused. I'm used to the 2018 regulations and the tire colors and stuff, but yeah, that's the thing. Away we go for the Russian Grand Prix in Mick Schumacher's Prima. Let's see if we can storm our way inside the top 10. Dare I say it, maybe even top 5, or if we're extremely lucky, onto the podium. We're in the slipstream of the car ahead. He swerves to the left-hand side. He saw the same gap that I did on the run into turn 2. We made contact with Matsushita there, and we find ourselves already in P11. So a net gain of 2 positions so far. Let's hopefully pick up a couple more. If the AI are going to replicate anything like the real drivers, we should see a lot of carnage today. The racing is just absolutely mad in F2. I really should make an effort to watch more of these races, because every time I do tune in, they are absolutely sublime. So I expect Russia to be no exception this weekend. But anyway, we're going around the outside of Matsushita there. A little bit of a excursion off the circuit, but it's fine. It looks like the stewards are turning a blind eye, and again they've got their eyes closed. They were probably looking at something off in the distance, maybe the theme park that's just off on the start finish straight, possibly. Sete camera setting the pace at the front of the field. I will not make any more puns like that, I'm afraid, for the rest of this video, but we are now inside the top 10. If we can get P8 in this race, we can script ourselves to be on the front row for the next race, which is a sprint race as we dive up the inside. Louis Delatraz into turn 2. So the sprint race that's coming up after this one is a reverse grid of the top 8. So if we want to win the next race, we can just hang around in P8 for the rest of the Grand Prix if we want to, but we want to see if we can march our way forward in this one and overall win the round of Russia. That's, I don't know, we'll see if we can do that, but yeah, the aim is just to have a bit of fun in this car and get a feeler of what career mode might be like in these cars. We've already got a track limits warning, and that's something that I found to be quite difficult when running in online races with strict corner cutting. These cars are not as wide as F1 cars, so you can't really place as much of your car over a curb and expect to get away with it, because you can easily run all 4 tyres off a curb or off the white lines when you're being a bit aggressive in these races. But we're making good progress at the moment. We dive out the inside of Jordan King there, and we find ourselves in P7. That wasn't a great exit. Cars can be a bit squirrely in like 3rd gear as you try and plant the power. We run wide again through there, just overdriving quite a bit. There's just no downforce in these things, so that's something that I'll have to get used to over the course of this 14 lap race. Next up, we've got Jack Aiken. He's looking to make a move on Nicholas Latifi, and he gets that done with relative ease. We're going to see if we can follow him through and get ourselves inside the top 6. Have to leave him space, and we are through into the top 6. So we've made some great progress so far in the opening 3 laps of this Russian Grand Prix. From here on in, it's going to be increasingly difficult. You would imagine that the AI drivers of everyone ahead of us is going to be increasingly more skillful. This is I'm pretty sure a spec-based series, so literally all the cars are equal. It's just a case of getting the right setup on the car and each driver adapting their driving style to be as fast as they can, and these guys at the front are obviously doing the best job. It's anyway, in the slipstream of Jack here, we're going to see if we can go to the outside. He goes defensive, and we clear him before we even get to the braking zone. We run wide there at turn 2, and it gives Jack a wonderful run through to the turn 3 corner, but unfortunately for his sake we were just kind of parked in the middle of the road there, and I didn't anticipate the closing speed that Jack would have on the run through there, and we have him covered off, so that was yeah, interesting on our part. Turn 3, mind you, is a real corner at Russia. You actually have to lift off through there, so it's quite exciting, but Jack gets back up the inside of us into the 3rd sector, and yeah, this could be a battle that strings out to be all race. It looks like me and Aiken here have relatively the same pace, and we're just kind of slipstreaming each other. Though if we can continue to work together, it might leapfrog us towards the top 4. We'll have to wait and see. In we go for now, our first pit stop, and we're going to put on the dreaded medium tyres to run out this race. So looks like the strategy is to run the faster tyre for the majority of the race. My pit stop window is here, and we're onto the mediums. A very slow stop here from the Prima boys, but this is my very first pit stop in F2, so I guess that's just how slow they are. 6.0 seconds, which is 3 times longer than an F1 pit stop. That is absolutely mad. We rejoin on the circuit, and it's now P12. Don't really know where we are effectively in this race. We were knocking on the door of the top 6, so I'd imagine that we should be there. If we're lucky, we might get an undercut, but it just depends on how much life the leaders had in their you know, soft tyres, so we'll have to wait and see how that goes. We come out on lap 8. A few people have made their stops. Giotto is right in front of us. They're going to have cold tyres though, so hopefully we can make the most of these guys being a bit slow on their outlap, and then we'll see if we can make the most of some of these positions. Jordan King was looking pretty threatening there on the start-finish straight last time around. But now we're in closing distance of Giotto and Aitken here. Let's see if we can possibly get in front of both of these guys on the next start-finish straight. Giotto has the DRS on Aitken, and I don't imagine that anything is going to happen here, will it? Aitken locks up his inside front tyre, but nothing really doing there. From experience and just driving this, because I'm commentating in post-com, I've already done this race, I did find it was a little bit difficult to kind of follow and actually overtake. Like, slipstream was less effective in these cars as opposed to the F1 cars, and another thing which I felt to be weird as well is I felt like there was more of a dirty air effect in the F2 cars than what there was in F1. As we go for a big boy dive bomb into turn 2. They might actually turn into a position here for us, but couldn't get the drive out of turn 2 that I really wanted. And Giotto keeps P5 at the moment. We're trying to do an under and over. We might dive up the inside here into this next right-hander, and we do so. That is a top 5 position for us now with 4 laps left to go in this race. You can see weaving the wheel. I'm quite happy with that move. And now Giotto under threat from the driver behind. I'm not too sure who that is. I'm not overly familiar with all the F2 cars and drivers, unfortunately, so you'll have to excuse me on that one. But yeah, it was really weird. Like, I could feel the dirty air when following other cars. You'll notice I have a bit of clear air to Jack Aiken here. And yeah, as soon as I got in front of Giotto, I felt like there was so much more grip. I had a bit of space in front of me, and I closed the gap to nothing in just a very short amount of time. But when I was following Giotto, and even Aitken earlier on in the first stint, I found it so hard to follow and keep up the same pace and momentum. We get the slipstream on Aitken here, and we move up into the top 4 now. But yeah, it's really weird how with the F1 cars you can't feel really any dirty air effect taking away downforce, apart from maybe like at tracks like Spain and Australia. That's it. Like, but in F2, yeah, I did find it to be a little bit difficult. You can see Juan Manuel Correa is retired from this Grand Prix. He was also involved with that horrific crash at Spa with Anton Hubert. Hopefully he can make a good recovery. I think he's still in the hospital, I believe. So yeah, thoughts with him and his family at the moment. But back to the action here on the penultimate lap of this Russian Grand Prix. You can see we're finding a way here with Giotto. It's been a race-long battle. He's the fastest man on circuit at the moment with his purple lap time at the moment. We get past him, and no, we defend and we hold on against Giotto, who is looking to take our position. It's the last lap of the Grand Prix now. Giotto has a nice run on us here into turn 2. Oh dear, that's not a great apex from us there, and we fall into the clutches of him and Jordan King. So I'm not too sure what happened to Jack Aiken, but he seems to have dropped off the pace a little bit in this Grand Prix. I did too as well a little bit. I feel like maybe I got a bit lazy. Like I had to keep on pushing 11 tenths every lap to get some pace out of the car, and towards the end I kind of just chilled out a little bit, and Giotto, yeah, you can see he's stolen our position back. So with only a few corners left in this Russian Grand Prix, we're going to see if we can get this place back, go for a dive up the inside into the third to last corner, and then do a switch back here. Bit of forward thinking here to see if we can get the inside and do a last minute ditch attempt to get back P4 in this Russian Grand Prix. We dive to the inside, and I think that should be the position done. It will be P4 in this Russian Grand Prix. What a comeback.
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
Dams, another team with a huge amount of history based right in the heart of motorsport near Le Mans in France, have once again shown their formidable abilities out on the track with yet another win today.
So there we go then. Sergio Sette Camera takes the Russian Grand Prix in the feature race, which means he'll be starting from P8 in tomorrow's sprint race. Nice to see Antoine Hubert on the podium as well. And yes, that does confirm that he is in this version of the game. I'm not too sure if he will be removed at some point. I don't know how that is going to work. But if they do decide to take him out of the game out of respect, I think it might take a little while for that to happen. Because licensing issues, it takes a while to put these things into place. Like the Pierre Gasly and Alexander Albon switch happened a long time ago in real life, but it still hasn't come to fruition in the game. So it could be a little while before we see those changes made. But we're off for the sprint race now, where we'll be starting towards the front.
Welcome back for the final event of the weekend, the sprint race. Here, the top 8 from yesterday's feature race are reversed to make up the grid below us, and in just a few minutes, those drivers will be hurtling down into turn 1.
You should have some space going into the first corner, so try to keep it tidy.
So we finish off the last race in P4. We start this one in P5, which is a much better starting position to be in where we started off in the feature race. Away we go to the Russian Grand Prix. We've got all the faster drivers behind us, so we should be in with a good shout of winning this Russian Grand Prix. We're more used to the game. We're more in tune with this car, so let's see what we can do. We're getting squeezed there by Nick de Vries. I was actually sandwiched in between, I think, Anton Hubert and, Nick. And I was trying to leave space for both cars, but there was indicators either side, and it was very, very hard to tell where they were because I couldn't see them either side of me, and I couldn't see them in my mirrors because they were both kind of blocked up. So it was a very unfortunate moment that happened there. I went to the left, Nick went to the right, and we just kind of met in the middle a little bit there, and the consequences there were pretty bad. I think my teammate has got tangled up in that as well. It's just been an absolute nightmare back there. Nick de Vries is out of the session. No safety car because unfortunately you can't, the safety car option was like grayed out. I think maybe I need to do a 100% race in both the feature race and the sprint race for that to happen, I think. But in all of that craziness, we find ourselves in our starting position still. Giotto is right in front of us, and we're going to continue the fight that we left off with in the feature race yesterday. So let's see if we can win this one. If we do so, I don't know, it might put us in a good chance of winning the round overall. We need to beat Sete Camera by a good handful of points. You can see someone going slowly on the back straight. Not too sure who that is, but yeah, they got some front wing damage, and I believe they will be limping their way back to the lane to probably retire from this race. Xiao is setting the pace there with a 1 minute 48.1. I don't, yeah, like I said many times, I don't watch F2 religiously, so I don't know all of the drivers. I don't know how their pronunciations, so I really do apologize if I do get them wrong. But I don't know. Let me know in the comments if I do get some wrong, and I'll know for next time to get it right. There's still F1 drivers' names which I still get wrong. Anyway, dive bomb on Giotto. We take back P4, and now we're the lead guy potentially to have a shot at winning this race. Jordan King is no slouch. Neither is Louis Delatraz, but yeah, they'll all be looking to take pot shots at our race leader here. You can see on the inside in the turn 2, Zhao was going defensive, and looks like he just about holds on to that position. It's very close. There's only 2 laps left in this race. We're going to see if we can do the dive to the inside in the middle sector that we've done a couple of times in today's Grand Prix. We are now on the podium, but we're not done just yet. We want to get that race win, and we want to do it in style. Next up is Louis Delatraz. We're heading on to the last lap of the Russian Grand Prix. I just wish there was more time in this race to get these moves done. We're going to be quite rushed to get to the lead here. We dive up the inside of Louis Delatraz there. We have to leave him space on the inside, and we're kind of doing a bit of a role reversal compared to what we did in the last couple of laps in the feature race. But we make the outside line work, and we move into second position in this Russian Grand Prix. And now we have a clear shot at getting the victory here in today's race. So here's a replay. We go around the outside. I had to be very brave here at the last corner because he was there on the inside, and I just got the turn in perfect. I didn't, cut him off too much. I avoided contact, and we got through without losing too much time here to our race leader. So let's see if we can get the W here. Mick Schumacher, he will be very eager to get this victory. But let's see. In the middle sector, I don't feel like we're overly pacey over the AI. I feel like our strength is actually sector 3. The medium and slow speed corners seem to be where we come out strong, and we'll just hope to, use the slipstream, the DRS of Zhao here to get us close enough to maybe dive into the third sector. We'll have to wait and see. DRS is now activated. There are no fuel mixes that are going to help us here, no battery modes. We have to do this purely on slipstream and engine power. We go around the outside now on the last lap of the Russian Grand Prix, and we take the lead of the sprint race here in F2. Nice little move there. Had to make sure I pulled up the car. These F2 cars don't stop very efficiently. It's very easy to lock up as well. We got the braking there perfect. We take the lead, and we just need to hold on for a couple more corners, and we will seal this victory here at the Russian Grand Prix. 2 more corners to go. Just locking it all up, making sure there's no mistakes, and we will seal a victory with Mick Schumacher.
Nice work, that's P1. Race win. Well done.
Here's our winner pulling their Prima into Parc Fermé then. What a fantastic race. It looks like it's time for the victory ceremony once again, as I can see the drivers beginning to make their way out for the celebrations. You can see it on their faces. It's another marvellous team win for Prima today.
So there we go, guys. That has been your first little look at the F2 2019 cars that has come out in the recent 1.12 update for the F1 2019 game. Overall, these cars are a lot of fun if you've already tried the F2 2018 cars. They basically handle the exact same. I don't believe that they are any faster, nor really any slower. At least from what I can feel anyway. Someone who's an expert on F2 could probably prove me wrong in the comments. But just based on feel, it felt exactly the same as the old cars. So, yeah, that's kind of your reference point. Overall, we got P2 for the weekend, 4 points shy of, who was it? Let's go back. I think it was, yeah, it was Sete Camera, and we miss out in the constructors as well, 2 points behind Dams. So, yeah, having to be the bridesmaid in both the drivers and the teams championships. But I've had a lot of fun anyway. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you did. Subscribe to the channel if you're new to see plenty more racing game content. Like I said, I'm putting this video out as a bit of a feeler to see if you guys are interested in seeing a career mode based on the 2019 F2 season. So put it down in the comments which team, which driver I should drive for. I might even leave a vote or a straw poll down in the description. If I haven't done that, I've been a horrible YouTuber, and I should have it on Twitter or something. But either way, I will make sure that we have a team vote. And yeah, if there's enough interest, I will do a career mode. It is a shortened season, but with sprint races and the feature race, you know, format, I feel like we should have a pretty good championship on our hands. And something a little bit different, a nice change of pace from Formula 1, which we've been doing as a staple part on our channel for a very long time. I'll leave it at that. So it will be nice to try a different formula out. So let me know if you want to see that. Thank you so much for watching. Until the next video, which I believe will be career mode, I'll see you then.